Hey everyone, good afternoon. My name is Kiwa Simpson and I am a local vacation planner on the beautiful island of St. Lucia. I help overworked couples, honeymooners, and travel lovers who come into my island put together the vacation of a lifetime. I give them the insider tips they need to make the most out of their stay here, have some much needed fun, and reconnect with each other again. So, today I want to speak about the COVID-19 restrictions on island, and basically if you should travel now or if you should come to our island or at a later date, like at the end of the year or maybe sometime early 2021. So, right now our island is open to people traveling who want to come to visit. It's open to people from the US. I know lots of places have restricted US citizens, but it's open to people from the US, people from the UK, and other places in the Caribbean. So, however, you need to know that right now, as of August the 1st, the island is in phase, something called phase 1, which means that you're only going to be allowed to stay at the resort when you come on the island. Okay, so let's first talk about the restrictions and what you have to do in order to come here. So the first thing you must have your reservation confirmed. So you must have a paper that shows that you're going to be staying and you have paid to stay at a hotel that is COVID-19 certified. That means that hotel is following the protocols set by the Ministry of Health to help prevent the transmission of COVID-19 from people in the hotel. So they're adhering to the social distancing, the disinfection, the temperature checks, and all the other things that the Ministry of Health has set to make sure that the virus will not be transmitted from person to person in the hotel. So there's a list of them on the official tourism website for St. Lucia. I'll give that at the end of the video. And you could find them out, so you could pick one to stay if you want to come now. So you need that your reservation confirmed and something showing that you have a reservation at one of these hotels. You also need to get what we call a PCR test done. A PCR test will check to see if you have the virus or have contracted COVID-19, the COVID-19 virus. So it basically checks to see if the DNA for the virus is present in you, and if you have it, then it will show that you have COVID-19 in your system. If it is negative, that means you're safe and you're not infected with the virus. So you need to have your test results. You need to get your test results 7 days. For the latest, it's 7 days before you come on island. Okay, so that's the PCR test, the staying at a COVID-19 certified place. And also you need to there's a form that you need to fill out on the official tourism website for the island, and you need to come with that form as well. Of course, when you're traveling, you're going to wear your mask, you're going to do the temperature checks when you get here, adhere to all the social distancing, and you'll get your taxi, go to the hotel, and you're only allowed to stay in the hotel. You can do a few excursions, but they're usually water-based excursions. So they're probably like a sunset cruise organized by the hotel, or a snorkeling trip organized by the hotel. You're not allowed to leave the hotel by foot or by a vehicle. You're not allowed to mingle with the locals. You're not allowed to go and do some of the amazing things on our island, like hike the pitos or visit the mud baths, because it is closed and restricted to non-locals, to visitors, which you will be. So these are the things you need to know. So with all of these restrictions in place, you need to ask yourself, would you still want to come to the island at a time where You won't be able to explore as you want to. You won't be able to sample all the local amazing things on the island. You won't be able to visit different restaurants. You won't be able to go to different beaches and all of the typical things you would do on the island if everything was normal and there weren't so many restrictions. There's no Grizzly Friday night and all of the other amazing things, no zip lining, all of these things are closed off to visitors. All you could do, so you need to ask yourself, is it okay? Would I feel okay and satisfied to take the trip to St. Lucia, get the PCR test done, get and go through all the restrictions, wear the mask, have to do the social distancing, the temperature checks, the filling in forms, answering questions when you reach at the airport and all of that stuff. Is it worth it for me to come if that's what I have to go through to get to St. Lucia? And then you need to ask yourself, am I okay with just staying at the hotel? If you are, then you should definitely come. If this is a trip that you really need and you just really need the break and you really want to leave your country and you just want to come to someplace different, you don't mind staying in the hotel most of the time and probably doing 1-2 water tours with the people at the hotel, then you could come. You also need to consider, what do you have to go through when you're ready to leave the island? When you go back home, do you need to go and quarantine yourself for 14 days? Does your country require that when you travel back home? Do you need to, are you okay with having to do all the checkups and stuff like that when you get back to your country? If it's worth it to you to go back home and